Storyboarding is probably one of the most difficult parts of AI filmmaking, but at the same time, it's also one of the most important because this is the stage that gives your film continuity, structure, and visualization before you even begin generating videos. And honestly, once you understand how to approach storyboarding properly, your entire AI filmmaking workflow becomes much more organized. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I create storyboards for AI films, how I structure them shot by shot, and how I extract start frames directly from those storyboard grids for image to video generation. And if you're using text to video instead, I'll also show you how the storyboard still helps you visualize your scenes and maintain consistency throughout the entire film. Now first, let's understand what a storyboard actually is. A storyboard is basically a sequence of drawn or generated frames that maps out your film shot by shot before any video is created. In AI filmmaking though, it serves a double purpose. It's both your creative blueprint and also your prompt planning document. And this is important because storyboarding forces you to think through every single shot before generation starts. You're thinking about how shots connect together, how character consistency is maintained, and how the cinematic pacing flows from one frame to another. And those are things you absolutely need in AI filmmaking if you want your film to feel coherent. Now, every storyboard frame, basically every shot, should define 4 major things. The first is the shot type. So this could be a wide shot, medium shot, close-up shot, and so on. The second thing is the camera angle. So you could have a high angle, low angle, eye level angle, and different variations depending on the scene. Then the third thing is the subject or action. In other words, what exactly is happening inside that frame. And finally, the fourth thing is the mood and lighting. This part helps maintain visual consistency throughout your entire film, and that consistency is very important in AI filmmaking. So now that we understand what a storyboard is and why it matters, let's get into how you can actually create your own storyboard, generate the frames, and then extract those frames either as start frames for image to video generation or simply use the storyboard itself as a visualization guide for text to video workflows. Because basically, there are 2 major ways people generate AI videos. You either go with image to video or text to video. If you're using image to video, you need strong start frames. And later in this video, I'll show you exactly how to extract those frames from your storyboard grid. But if you're using text to video, then the storyboard mainly helps you visualize the scene before generation while still referencing your characters consistently. So let's get started with the setup process first. Before you even begin storyboarding, there are 3 things you need prepared. First, you need your character reference images, basically your character Bible. Then second, you need your environment reference images, which are your location references. And third, you need your shot-by-shot prompts for each scene. So if your film has 4 scenes, then you create 4 separate storyboard grids. Now, for your prompts, character reference sheets, and other materials, you can check my Telegram channel. I already have tons of prompts there that help walk you through the process, including prompts that generate detailed shot-by-shot structures for AI filmmaking workflows. You can also create your own prompts manually if you prefer. So once you already have your shot-by-shot prompts, your character references, and your environment references prepared, then you can proceed to storyboard generation. Now for the tools I'll be using Nano Banana 2 or Nano Banana Pro. Either one works very well for storyboard generation, and I'll be accessing them through Google Flow. The reason I like this workflow is because it's very accessible. I'm not using any paid tools here. This is a free workflow you can use because you can actually get credit usage with Nano Banana on Flow. So the first thing you want to do is open Flow and create a new project. That's your starting point before any generation begins. Now, after creating your project, the next thing you want to do is upload your characters. And this should happen before pasting any prompt. So click on the plus icon, then upload your character images. You can either generate your characters directly inside Flow using Nano Banana or simply upload already created character references. I already have mine prepared here, and I believe you already know how to create characters because I've covered that in previous videos. I'll also attach the tutorial where I explain how to build characters using a character Bible workflow. So after uploading your characters, make sure you select only the necessary characters for that particular scene. That part matters because not every scene requires every character. Once your characters are uploaded, the next thing you want to upload is your environment reference image, basically your location reference. So again, click the plus icon, go to your file directory, select your environment reference sheet and upload it. At this point, once your character references and environment references are uploaded, you now have the core assets needed for your storyboard generation. Now that the assets are already inside Flow, the next thing we want to do is go back to the storyboard prompt document. I already have this prompt available on my Telegram channel, so you can download it there. What you want to do is copy the storyboard prompt for grid image generation, then come back into Flow and paste it inside the prompt area. After pasting the prompt, make sure you select either Nano Banana 2 or Nano Banana Pro as your model. For this example, I'll be using Nano Banana 2. Then for the aspect ratio, you can choose whatever works best depending on the number of shots in your scene. Here, I'm using landscape 16:9. So at this stage, we've already completed the 3 major setup requirements. We uploaded the character reference sheets for the characters appearing in the scene, we uploaded the environment reference for the location, and we pasted the storyboard prompt itself. Now, the next thing you want to do is go to the AI film project you are currently working on. Any film project works here. You can also check my tutorials on AI filmmaking if you want a deeper explanation on detailed prompting. But in this video, I'm focusing specifically on the storyboard process. So, in my own project here, I already have scene 1 prepared. What I'm going to do now is copy the entire shots list for scene 1. In this particular example, scene 1 contains 6 shots. So I will copy all 6 shot prompts completely, then go back into Flow. Inside the storyboard prompt we pasted earlier, there's a section where you're supposed to insert your shot-by-shot prompts. So all you have to do is paste the entire scene prompt into that section. Now, after pasting the prompts, the next thing you want to do is reference your images properly. So go through the prompt and assign the correct characters and environment references. For example, if image 1 is your first character, then specify the character name directly inside the prompt. So I'll write something like image 1 is Connor Harris. Then if image 2 is the second character, I'll define it as specialist Jen. And since the environment reference is the third image, I'll specify that image 3 is the environment reference. And honestly, this part is much simpler than many people think. You're basically just connecting the uploaded assets to the prompt structure so the model understands what each image represents. So once everything is properly assigned, make sure Nano Banana 2 is selected, then run the generation. After a few seconds, you should get your storyboard grid images generated. Usually you receive 2 different variations, and from there you can choose whichever one works best for your AI filmmaking workflow. And now you officially have a complete storyboard grid that you can use to visualize your entire film. If you're working with text to video, you can already move forward from this point by referencing your characters and using the storyboard to guide your scene continuity. And if certain shots don't fully match your vision, you can always tweak the prompts slightly and regenerate. But if you're going with image to video, then the next stage becomes very important because now you need to extract each frame individually as start frames for video generation. And that's exactly what we're moving into next. Now, after generating your storyboard, you usually have 2 grid images. What you want to do now is pick the one that best fits your vision for the film. So for me, I'll be using this particular storyboard grid for my video generation workflow and for extracting the individual frames. You should simply choose the version that resonates with the direction you want for your scene. Now, once you've selected your preferred storyboard grid, go back to the prompt document and copy the start frame extractor prompt. Then return to Flow and paste that extractor prompt into the prompt area. After pasting it, we'll now begin editing a few things. The first thing we want to do is paste the shot prompt for the specific frame we want to extract. So let's say we're extracting the very first frame, which is labeled KF1. All you need to do is go back to your shot-by-shot prompt list and copy the prompt for shot 1 of scene 1. Then come back into Flow and paste that shot prompt into the correct section of the extractor prompt. Now the next step is attaching the images we need for extraction. First, attach the storyboard grid itself. Then, attach the character reference sheets for the characters appearing in that shot. So at this point, we now have the storyboard grid attached, plus the character references attached. Now we want to edit the prompt again so everything matches correctly. Since our character references are image 2 and image 3, we'll rename them properly. So image 2 becomes Cornell Harris and image 3 becomes Specialist Chen. Then for the frame source section, because our storyboard grid is image 1 inch, this example, we'll change the reference to image 1. And this is something you should always pay attention to. The image numbering can change depending on the order you upload assets. So you always want to make sure the prompt matches the actual uploaded image order. Then for the extraction task itself, we leave it as KF1 because we're extracting the first frame from the storyboard. And since the storyboard grid is image 1, we also change the frame source reference to image 1. After that, make sure your aspect ratio is set to 16:9, then run the prompt. After a few seconds, your start frame for shot 1 should be extracted successfully. And honestly, that's basically the entire extraction workflow. The process is repetitive. You simply repeat the same structure for every single shot you want to extract from the storyboard. So let's quickly go through another example. Now for the second shot, which is KF2, we follow the exact same process again. Go back to the prompt documents, copy the start frame extractor prompt, then paste it into flow. Next, go back to your shot by shot prompt list and copy the prompt for shot 2 specifically. Then return to flow and paste the shot 2 prompt into the extractor section. Now we'll reference the images again. This time, let's start by adding the character references first. So the first character becomes image 1, the second character becomes image 2, and then the storyboard grid becomes image 3. Now once the images are attached, go back into the prompt and rename the character references properly. So image 1 becomes Cornell Harris and image 2 becomes Specialist Chen. But this is where something important happens. For this particular shot, the first character actually isn't needed. So instead of forcing unnecessary references into the shot, I can either leave the character there or simply remove it completely. And this is something you should understand clearly during storyboarding. You only need to reference the characters that actually appear in each shot. So since Cornell Harris isn't needed for this frame, I'll remove that character reference entirely. Then because we now only have 2 images remaining, Specialist Chen becomes image 1 and the storyboard grid becomes image 2. So again, we update the prompt accordingly. For the frame source section, instead of using image 3, we now use image 2 because the storyboard grid has changed positions. Then for the extraction task itself, we change KF1 to KF2 since we're now extracting the second frame. And finally, wherever the storyboard image reference appears in the prompt, we also update it from image 3 to image 2. Then once everything is correctly aligned, click Generate again. So with this same process, you can continue extracting every single frame from your storyboard grid as individual start frames for your image to video workflow. And once you finish extracting all the frames, you can then move directly into video generation using whichever video model you prefer. So basically, that's the full workflow for extracting frames from a storyboard grid image and maintaining both character consistency and scene continuity throughout your AI filmmaking process. So whether you're using image to video or text to video, this workflow helps keep your film much more organized and visually consistent from beginning to end. So guys, if this video has genuinely helped you in your AI filmmaking workflow or your video creation process, you can like the video, leave a comment, ask your questions, and I'll definitely check them out. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.